All right, hello everyone, and welcome to your first Welcome Hangout on air. On behalf of the whole Google for Education team, we'd like to say congratulations and welcome to the Google for Education Certified Trainer Program. First and foremost, thank you for all of the hard work that each of you put into being a part of this growing program. We are very excited about the program, and we truly believe that the trainers are the catalyst for getting more educators inspired and empowered to use technology in the classroom. A logistical note is that throughout the next hour, we will be using the chat feature on the YouTube Live to collect any questions you may have. I see many of you are already active on it. But if anyone doesn't see it yet, it's on the right-hand side of your screen. And I think you can add a question at the bottom. So please throw in all of your questions in the chat box throughout the event, and then we'll be monitoring the questions. At the end of the presentation, we'll review the questions on the page and try to answer as many of the most popular ones as possible. So in the last 4 months, we've onboarded 389 new certified trainers into the program. You guys are truly a global group of EDU certified trainers. About 3/4 are from the US, and a little less than 1/4 are from other countries, including Australia, Bahrain, Brazil, Canada, Chile, Costa Rica, Finland, Hong Kong, India, Indonesia, Italy, Japan, Kenya, Macau, Mexico, the Netherlands, New Zealand, Norway, Peru, Saudi Arabia, Singapore, South Africa, South Korea, Spain, Sweden, Taiwan, Thailand, Ukraine, the United Arab Emirates, the United Kingdom, and the United States. I went through all of them because we truly would love to further build out our presence across the globe, and we wanted to very warmly welcome all of those of you who are tuning in from outside of the US. So this Hangout is specifically set up for you guys, and because you onboarded recently, the goal of this is to help you get familiar with the community and to meet a few new faces. So today we'll start off by introducing the Google team from Mountain View, as well as a few of our very own featured certified trainers who are joining us on this call. I'll talk a little bit about the background and history of the program, as well as dig deeper into the meat and potatoes of the program by speaking to the benefits that you'll be receiving. Then we'll bring out our certified trainers and have them speak about their experiences and a few words of wisdom for you all. And then from there, I'll wrap up with both highlighting some popular topics and questions that we've gotten in the past, as well as finishing off with a Q&A of any new questions that you all might have. So again, use that chat box in the YouTube Live, and we'll use that to collect all the questions. So to start us all off, you have 2 primary contacts here at Google for all of your trainer needs. I'm Alina, and Justin is here with me. I'm the Certified Trainer Program Manager, and Justin is the Community Manager for our whole Google for Education programs team. We are actually both based out of California and in the Pacific time zone, which is just good for you generally to know when you have a quick question and we might not answer right away. Just know that we're in the Pacific time zone. And we'll be your go-to Googler contact if you need anything. Just a reminder that these are our 2 aliases. They both work just as well. And please contact us through those as opposed to our individual emails, just because anytime that one of us is out or somebody else from the team is covering, we'll ensure that your questions get met as quickly as possible. So also joining us today are 5 of our wonderful veteran certified trainers. We have Brooke, Chris, Crystal, Lewis, and Matt. And you'll hear a lot more from them in a little bit, and I'll let them introduce themselves in a little bit. So to kick us off, our mission as the Google for Education certified trainers is to train, develop, and support educators to reach their full potential by redefining teaching and learning with technology. Our group of trainers really are passionate and creative individuals who provide professional development and other support services to mostly educators and schools at large. So hopefully that resonates with each one of you. You'll see this on our main trainer website, the public one. So I'm sure you've already known about this, but the important part of this is that about 2 years ago, there was a group of Googlers that got together as part of this team, and they worked on revamping the program. It was about a 6-month project to find and attract qualified certified trainers like yourselves. And at that point, we really came up with a new value proposition. However, we're still always open to feedback, and we encourage you to be very active members of the community. So through the private trainer site that you can, I recommend that you bookmark as soon as you get on there, but you can also access it through the Google group. You'll see a number of different tabs and resources. This, the URL was given to you in your acceptance and onboarding email in case you haven't already gotten it. And again, you can feel free to contact our alias if you're having issues. But on this trainer resource site, you'll see this 5-page getting started guide under the home tab. So please refer back to that after this presentation, but I'll walk you through the main 6 steps of getting started right now. So to start, please do review the program overview and expectations. This is important because it includes our expectations of you as a trainer, such as submitting training sessions, staying up to date with the latest features, and participating in the community. It also lists the program policies that outline some standards that you need to upkeep as a representative of Google. You really are an extension of Google at the end of the day. So we do also have to mention in these the overview and expectations what happens if you fail to abide by these program guidelines. Steps 2 and 3 involve reading the badge and logo guidelines and downloading them. So this document is on there, and it specifies what you can do and what you must do, as well as what you agree you will not do with the trainer badge. This document is super important because you'll want to be very careful about how you use the badge. And then there's also linked in there are the general Google branding guidelines. These directly point out what to do with the Google for Education Certified Trainer brand in general and the Google brand, as well as Google trademarks. As you know, Google is a huge business, and so we're very serious about our brand. All of our brand features are protected by applicable trademark, copyright, and other intellectual property laws. So please ensure that you are using the correct brand in your work. Also, this is one of those, this will come back up in the benefits section, but one of the benefits of being in the training program is to get listed on the EDU directory. This is a public trainer directory that the whole Google for Education team has launched. That's a publicly available online directory, and it features profiles for all of our certified trainers, innovators, and partners, as well as reference school districts and a few others. This is an excellent resource that we always send teachers and schools, potential employers to, and others just generally within the Google community so that they can connect with local certified trainers. And if you would like to be featured in this directory, if you don't want to be, you certainly don't have to be, but if you want to be, there's this tab within that same trainer private website to help you, so you can fill out the form, and you have to make sure that your contact information is up to date. So yeah, if you do that, we do update it once every 3 to 4 weeks, so please be patient with us. And if after 3 to 4 weeks you have not seen your updates reflected online, then potentially something went wrong, so just contact us. Then the step 5 as part of your onboarding would be to introduce yourself on the forum. We have seen that a ton of you have already done this, and this is like one of my favorite parts. I love seeing everyone's tidbits about themselves. And it's a great way for you to reach out to the group and find trainers that are either similar to you or have different interests that you'd love to learn more about. So feel free to also always come back to this community. This is how you can easily communicate with other trainers and share resources with each other. And then lastly would be, if you would like to, again, this is not a requirement for trainers, but it's one of the perks of being in the program. If you would like to set up your own training domain, we can upgrade your training domain to be Google Apps for Education. So this will allow you to have a separate domain for any demos and training purposes. And the page on the trainer site has very specific and detailed steps you'll need to take to successfully set up your own domain. Just a little side note is that people typically end up stumbling on the verification phase here. And all domains must be verified from Google before our team upgrades your training domain to a G Suite domain. So if you're having trouble with this process, please visit, again, on our private trainer site. There's a series of videos that you can watch. And actually, we have our celebrity right here with us, one of the certified trainers that I'm about to introduce, Lewis. is one of the ones that created those videos. So you're about to meet him in the flesh. So to get us started, you are going to first hear from Brooke, then Chris, then Crystal, then Lewis, and then Matt. These are some of our esteemed certified trainers who have been with the program for a while now, and they're going to talk a little bit about their own experiences as well as offer you some advice as you begin taking your expertise into the field. So I'll have each certified trainer introduce themselves and say where they're from, and then start off by talking about the program, the parts of the program that they enjoy the most. Brooke?
Hello, everybody. My name is Brooke Whitlow. And first of all, congratulations to all of you guys who are new certified trainers. And there are so many parts of this program that I love. Oh, I forgot to say where I was from. Central Kentucky, Bardstown is where I'm at right now, and I'm the Community and School Media Coordinator for Nelson County Schools. Forgot that little bit, sorry. So the part of the program probably that I enjoy the most is really the community. One of my favorite authors is Peter Block, and he wrote the book, The Answer to How is Yes. And as you sort of begin your journey into training and helping other teachers and administrators with Google for Education, I encourage you to kind of embrace that mindset, because when you are connected to this incredible community of educators across the globe, I mean, really the answer to how is yes. And to participate and have fun with it. And there's so many people that are literally just a message away. So participating in the community is by far my favorite part.
Thank you, Brooke. Really appreciate it. Chris, you're up.
Hi, I'm Chris Webb. I am a high school math teacher in Montreal, Canada. So my two things that are my biggest takeaways from the program are that I'm constantly learning, like Brooke is, from the larger community, but also the fact that there's a lot of things that have already been answered. So by going to that community and having a look for the questions that you might have, somebody has probably actually already answered that question, and you can find it without, find that answer without actually having to re-ask it. So make sure you make use of that community to actually search through and look for the answers. And you can also find out about how to set up your trainer domain. So Lewis is going to talk about that a little bit later. And also my giant PLN that I've created. So I've got friends like Crystal, who I bump into all the time. And these people who are kind of my geeky go-to people. And you'll start to build up your amazing PLN as well.
Love it. Thank you, Chris. Speaking of Chris's friend, Crystal. Crystal, can you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Crystal Ho. I'm based in the Boston area, originally from Ohio. I saw some Ohioans on there. Yay. So my experience with Google, I started as a French teacher and just loved integrating technology in my world. And then I decided to do it full time. And so now I'm a tech coach, and I get to help teachers all day long how to use all these awesome products that we do in our school district. As for just being a certified trainer, I have connected in so many different ways with just regional schools and helping them out. And through our PLN, like we've been talking about, just staying connected, because everyone's just like a chat away from getting an answer, which is so helpful. And then I get to meet them face to face, like I did with Lewis, which was awesome. We met on Twitter and of course on Google Hangout. And then I got to meet him at ISTE. So I think it's a great way to stay connected and just help each other, which is really helpful in my world too.
Thank you, Crystal. You all keep mentioning each other. So now everybody else gets to meet Lewis as well. Lewis.
Hey, everybody. My name's Louis Shanafelt. I live in Orlando, Florida. And much like, Brooke's slide in terms of staying connected and what Chris said about, creating and establishing your PLN, meeting folks like Matt and Justin and Alina and Crystal, and just kind of being involved in the community and knowing that you have those resources that are out there. I know Matt will probably talk about those resources a little later, but one of the things that I somehow became famous for was the training domain aspect. I would really encourage all of you that that recently became onboarded to apply for that training domain. I think a lot of you will find that it's, for a lot of you, it could be somewhat of a foreign language. And it was a foreign language for me as well. I spent 13 years in the classroom here in Orlando, and I didn't even know what a domain or subdomain was, but I kind of just, mustered through it. I got through it, and I decided to create that YouTube playlist, which Justin or Alina will talk about later, and I can help you all with if you have questions towards the end. But much like everyone else has said, not to be too repetitive, but just staying connected, meeting people, going to conferences, and shaking the hands of those people that have helped me throughout the community has been the most beneficial part of the program for me.
I love it. Thank you. Matt, take it away.
So I don't think I've got a whole lot of new information to offer, but this community is the highlight of the community. Paying attention to the information on the group and the collective intelligence here is really quite fascinating to see who's got answers and how fast they can get them out there. It's really, really amazing. So I would stress to everybody joining today, absolutely take some time, comb through, look, read, spend some time seeing what types of other problems have popped up, because they might not be problems for you or your domain or your training approach, but I guarantee that you will find somebody else that's experiencing something there that you could benefit from, as well as finding resources and other things that can benefit you as you continue to develop, your training skills and your own approach to being a trainer.
Great advice. Thank you, Matt. So now I'm going to go around and ask each of you, I know it seems like potentially long ago, but what piece of advice would you like to give to the new certified trainers, or what would you have liked to know as a new certified trainer yourself?
So my piece of advice probably for new certified trainers that are onboarding is to be intentional with your time and schedule your time. And, it's easy to get overwhelmed and there's constantly updates. And so building that into your schedule where you are scheduling time to participate in chats or, to connect virtually, whether it's in, the community on Google Plus or on the hashtags on Twitter, but just be intentional with your time so that you can stay up to date and stay connected, because that's part of the fun and the most valuable part, as everybody mentioned, is, staying connected to the community at large.
So I think that my biggest thing is that you need to stay up to date. So at the end of each year, you're going to be asked to take a quiz or a little test, and the questions are all going to be about those changes that were made throughout the year. And if you haven't made the effort to stay up to date, then the amount of research you're going to have to do to be able to answer those questions, which are very well asked, is crazy. And as you go through and you do trainings as well, people are going to ask you questions about the latest changes and what's changed in this program, or what's changed in this app, or what's changed in this part of the program, and you're going to need to know those answers. So follow Google for Education on Twitter, make sure you check the blogs regularly, sign up for all of the early access programs, and make sure that you stay up to date.
I was going to say the same thing, stay up to date. I just think, again, staying connected. I follow specific blogs, and especially the Google for Education blog, and follow specific people on Twitter. So I know that I can easily reach out to them and ask questions, or just see what are they using it for in my specific area. Or if I need to help a teacher that I'm not familiar with, like in kindergarten, for example, I can get some ideas. So just having a good learning network is really helpful, I would say.
All right, I'm going to piggyback off the other two. I think part of staying up to date, though, and what's helped me become a better trainer as time has passed, has been retaking the exam. So I know the others talked about staying up to date with the product itself, but one of the things that I did this past year was I paired up with a university, and I went out, and I think in order to be an effective trainer, you can't wait for the 3 years to pass and not know what's on the test and what changes have taken place. So I found it extremely beneficial and impactful to take the test every 12 months. If you can do it, more than that, great. If you can't, but I'd say staying up to date with the exam will make you a better and more proficient trainer. So I would say retaking the exam would be a crucial piece to, being part of the program and knowing what those updates look like on the exam since you last took it.
So I think I've forgotten to introduce myself. I'm Matt. I'm in California. I sit on the Google team for adoptions, and my chief responsibility is the content on the training center and the exams. So those exams that you guys are talking about, I have to try and stay on top of that with product updates and as well as how they apply to the classroom. So just because a new feature gets launched in Gmail doesn't necessarily mean that it's got educational impact. That doesn't exclude it, but that transitions me nicely into the community. I think this community is by far the most valuable part of this program, and we often will put information or solicit information in that community. And if you go hunting right now, there is a form out there asking for your input. We're looking to make the training center better. And so we've got a short 2 or 3 question form that we're asking for your input. And that's not the only time in the year that you have an opportunity to change the course of where the boat is headed. So please stay active in that community. We're always looking to make our stuff better, more impactful, so that you have better materials to look at, and so do the educators you serve. So
it sounds like all 5 of you, during your advice to the new trainer community, touched upon most of the benefits of being a certified trainer. So just to review, the main benefits of being a certified trainer that we offer are the badge, which you can make visible and put in like your website, your email, etc. The visibility in the Google for Education directory, this ready-to-use training and professional growth resources through the resources database, which I'm about to tell you a little bit more about, the demo domain that Lewis touched upon, the membership to this exclusive community of trainers, which seems to be time and time again what most trainers are so excited about, and this exclusive look at new Google product launches, which I'll touch upon in a minute. So as Matt mentioned, he is actually he's on the Google for Education team, and he's the content manager for our Teacher Center, formerly known as the Training Center. Matt, do you want to talk a little bit to this?
Sure. So when I joined, as a trainer in my former district, I went through the training center and took the exams, but then moved on to try and help teachers acquire the skills that they needed. And it never occurred to me that lo and behold, I could find what they needed and ship them some of these pre-made lessons that I had already gone through. So I wanted to kind of draw attention to the fact that each of these Teacher Center lessons that are created here are pretty much just links to any other page. So they're easily deliverable to anybody that's online. And then a lot of folks want a check step at the end. So the certifications are a great way to say, yeah, I know what I'm talking about, and I know how to bring technology specific to the Google tools into classrooms. So I would strongly consider using what's already made and not reinventing the wheel to help your teachers gain the confidence that they need in the classroom to be able to educate and meet kids where they are. So,
yeah, and not only are there Google created resources, but there's also other trainer created resources, and that's also in that private trainer site through the shared resource database. So yeah, again, you don't need to reinvent the wheel, so feel free to use all of these other resources to either complement or supplement what you are trying to create for a specific training for a specific group of people. One thing that we do ask of you as a certified trainer is that you use what's called the EDU Activity app to record all of your training sessions. This will become important in terms of getting credit for recertification once a year, but more so than that, we internally use that a lot to help measure your impact, and we're going to start connecting it to the EDU directory so that others can see what types of trainings that you've delivered. But the Google for Education community leaders use this app to report their activity as well, and that's like the certified innovators, the GEG leaders, the PD partners. So if you have not already gotten an invite on how to access this app in your email, please reach back out to us. Or if you're having any issues at any point in time, there is an EDU activity app page on that private trainer site that can help you, that'll link to the help center, and it'll help you find a support firm as well. And then this is just a plug for, at Google, we very much believe that incredible people know other incredible people. So if you know someone that would benefit from being a trainer or would be an amazing trainer, please, again, on the private trainer site, there's this Google form under the tools and resources site where you can nominate a trainer and they'll get a free trainer skills assessment voucher. And then aside from all of the amazing content in the training center to help others get L1 and L2 certified, there are other many great resources that you can also find on the private certified trainer site. And we're going to keep trying to build this out. So please do keep coming back to that. We'll also post whenever we update this as well. But one of these primary resources is something called the Train the Trainer program. So this is really a leadership project that you can plan out to help you create change by building a team of certified trainers across your school district. This typically helps teachers and staff become technology coaches by following a step-by-step guide to identify, excite, and train folks who want to be just like you. So for trainers who not only train, but also plan and implement PD across their district, we hope that this is a valuable resource to add to your arsenal. And again, you can feel free to reach out to us. I'll put the alias back on at the end of this if you want more information on the Train the Trainer program. And then finally, this will come about towards the end of the year and the beginning of next quarter. But every year we ask that trainers recertify. In order to maintain your trainer status, you'll need to complete some yearly requirements. We highly recommend tracking these submissions throughout the year to make sure that you're on track to recertify as a trainer, because you don't want it to be December all of a sudden and realize that you've only done one training session and do 11 training sessions within 1 month. So you don't have to resubmit any sort of formal application or training videos, but there are these activities listed here that we expect for you in order to keep your badge. And Justin or I will reach back out to you towards the end of the year, sending a very detailed email list listing out all of the points, as well as an FAQ doc to capture all of these details. But if you have any questions, we're happy to delve into that now during the Q&A session. So we have now reached the Q&A portion of the Hangout. And I see a lot of you have already typed out questions in the box. If you have additional ones, please add them in. Justin and I will now go through them. And if you're having any problems with the Q&A feature in the YouTube Live, you can feel free to email our alias, which is right here, the GFE trainer program at google.com, and we'll respond to you within the next 24 hours.
Cool. So I'm just going to go over some of the questions that have already been answered. And for the featured certified trainers on this call, feel free to jump in to talk about your experiences when dealing with these things. So there was a lot of questions around the EDU activity app. As mentioned earlier by Elena, there is a help center that is linked out from the private trainer site. We are a little behind right now on those cases, but we'll be getting those out soon. But if you do not have access to the EDU activity app, there is a support form on that help center. And once you fill that out, you'll be in the queue that will get you access. So we should be getting that out soon. So again, there is a help center on the private trainer site that you could access to get into the platform. And then there were some questions about the recertification process. Usually, in the past, like we've sent out information about recertification around December. The recertification process is open all month until January, and sometime during the end of January, there is a deadline for everyone to submit all their 12 training resources, their one shared resource, and take the product update exam. So around that time too, we'll be sending out an FAQ doc that will hopefully answer all your questions. Yeah, but basically, like more information about the product update exam. We will be sending out a study guide that will list all the product updates that we've sent out throughout the year. So you will have that around that time, and then to help you guys with time for submitting your trainings, we recommend that you start doing those in the coming months, so you don't have to do it at the very end. And then also the shared resource database is open and available for all trainers at the moment, so you don't need to wait until then to submit those as well. Let's see. I also dropped in some links to the Google for EDU blog and Twitter and the Teacher Center. So those are all in the chat box. All those links are also available on the Google for EDU main website. Let's see. All right. Is there a specific number of trainer applications accepted each quarter?
Nope. As many as apply, we're willing to review all of them, and any applicants that pass the requirements are let in.
And Nicole is asking, what counts as a training? So a training counts as, you could count it as either like if there's a new topic it's either a new topic or a new audience. So you could count as many as those are. And also trainings, only Google for EDU related content will be counted as trainings.
Yeah, and typical training sessions that people will do are either in-service PD days and formal workshops, one-on-one coaching and mentoring, one-to-many department-wide meetings, online or virtual training sessions. And then the two that also count that are a little less common are presentations at large EdTech summits or office hours for staff. And if you have any questions about what would count or not, again, just email our alias and we'll be happy to think through that with you.
And also there is a question from Rhonda. Will the 12 training sessions be prorated for those who came on board in the summer? Yes. So if you came on board in June, you'll only need to do 6 trainings. If you were onboarded in July, 5. It depends on what month you were onboarded, but basically if you weren't here the whole year, you don't need to do the full 12. Let's see. Trisha is asking, do we get early access to know about new Google features coming out? Yep. So that is a benefit of this program. A few times a year, we share the product roadmap with all trainers and certified trainers and GEG leaders. So keep a lookout on your Google groups because we usually send out those notifications on the group.
And on that note, as part of your acceptance, you all signed an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, which basically states that you won't publicly discuss some of these product updates that we share with you. And we also will sometimes open up to the group any sort of dog foods or early admissions to test new products. And that falls into that category as well.
All right. Um, I think we've hit everything on here. Lewis is chatting about some of the information about the trainer domain. Maybe Lewis, like we know that like a lot of trainers think that your YouTube series is very helpful. If there was like one strong advice around this part of the program, what can you share?
Yeah, so one of the things that benefited me the most is talking to the chat support with your domain host. My video series is geared towards GoDaddy for really no specific reason. It's just I knew that they were fairly cheap, and I think I saw some advertisements. But the steps are very similar. And what I can tell you is their customer support, and I'm sure other domain host customer support are very, very accommodating, and they want to keep your business and keep your domain intact and have you re-up each year. So don't be afraid to reach out to customer support. And also the Google Cloud customer support, when you're in your admin panel and you've created your admin account, there is a question mark in the top right-hand corner that will allow you as a Google admin to open a Q&A with Google Cloud support. So those folks have been extremely generous with their time when I've had questions and helping those individuals that got stuck during the process. So to answer Justin's question, there's nothing that's really outwardly that stands out. People get hung up in different places, but I would say the most important part of creating that training domain is making sure that you follow Justin's workflow, the written workflow on the page, follow it precisely, follow the steps precisely. He's very specific in terms of the steps to follow. But if you're looking for more detail, then obviously feel free to open the YouTube playlist I created. One of the things I did speak to them about previously was some of the stuff in the YouTube video series has slightly changed in terms of the application process, but it's very, very similar, and the wording is very similar. So I said in the YouTube chat, and I've told the kind folks at Google that I've helped many people on Twitter. Usually it's just one small thing. I don't mind opening it up if you guys want to reach out to me. Hopefully I don't get 300 requests here in the next couple days, but I don't mind helping you all if you get stuck or have a question and want to reach out. But it can be a process that's very hard to follow for classroom teachers. Just because they use words and terminology that you're not used to. But many people have said that the videos are helpful. A lot of people don't need to contact me, and that's fine too, because they get the process down, follow the video series. I would say verifying the domain is probably the most challenging process. And sometimes I would encourage my people that contact me to make sure you open the chat support. You pay for that chat support, so don't be afraid to reach out for it. You don't pay for obviously the Google chat support, but being a trainer allows you access to reaching out to the kind people at Google. I think most of them, the ones I've spoken to, are in Ireland, but their chat support has been phenomenal with helping me and trying to figure out what is stuck in that process, whether it be verifying the domain, whether it be your MX records are wrong or something along those lines. So don't be afraid to reach out to those folks that you pay the customer support for, because they're there to help you. And like I said, I don't mind helping if you want to shoot me a message on Twitter. I've helped several people in the past. So, look in the community too. We've all talked about the community. There's a huge, it might have the most posts on it. Setting up your training domain, I think, is the name of the thread. And there are, I don't even know, there's probably a couple hundred posts on there in terms of how to do it, how to get access to certain resources that are out there. So again, don't be afraid to ask. And, the people in the community are here to help you. So.
Cool. Thanks, Lewis.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So there's a question here from C. Clark. I plan to let my district know about Google Education Certified Trainers at the beginning of the year. Do you have a recommended script for letting my district know what Google ET is and what I could do for the district? I would start off by checking out our landing page. There's very high level information there about the program. And then next, I would go into the private trainer site where it lists all like all the information that you need to know about being in the program there. There's the guidelines, and then also there's that page for the train the trainers. I think that would be a good start when chatting about the program to your district. And then I don't know, Matt, if you could help out here, but this is a non-trainer program related question. But there is a question here from Lisa, who is wondering about the Google Certified Admin exam and when it will be back up and running. She has a few people in her school districts who are asking about it.
That is a great question. It is not something that our immediate team works on. I know that's been a exam that kind of went by the wayside and now is kind of in the process of possibly coming back. I don't have an ETA. I know folks are working on it, but I don't have an ETA for when that's going to be back and available. So I guess the best I can offer is stay tuned. I think that page, I think there's a page that details what that particular exam is, but it should continue to update with new messaging as they prepare for that to be kind of relaunched. So,
cool. Yeah, a lot of the updates that come from our team will be sent on the Google group. And I guess this is like my piece of advice here is like we always send out, product. We always send out product updates and like announcements and opportunities for certified trainers to be involved with our team. So those are some posts that you don't want to miss because you don't know when an opportunity can come up. A lot of the times we ask for feedback on our new products, and we ask for people to join our focus groups. So these are opportunities for you to be more involved with our team, and like if we need your help and participation, we're always willing for certified trainers to come join and give their input. But I think that is all. If there are any other questions that you guys have that weren't answered, or any questions that you have in the future, please feel free to email our program alias, gfe-trainer-program@google.com, and we'll make sure to get back to you.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Bye.